week on ESPN, and the battle for the best team in the Big West Conference has brought us to Irvine, California. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors in town to take on the Irvine Anteaters. There's Mamadou Njai, the big 7'6" junior center for the Anteaters. 5 double-doubles this season. He put up 10 points in Irvine's loss to Hawaii earlier this season. As we take a look at the lineups between these two teams, Hawaii anchored down low by the junior forward Stefan Jankovic, averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds per game. For the UC Irvine Anteaters, we already mentioned Mamadou Njai, but keep an eye out for the guards, Alex Young and Luke Nelson. Nelson averaging 13 points this season for the Anteaters. Eric Rothman, Richie Schuler here with you inside the Brent Event Center in Irvine, California. And Richie, as I mentioned, these two teams already meeting once before. Hawaii putting on an 18-point beatdown at home against Irvine. They shot lights out from long range in that game.
Well, for Hawaii, they're the #1 scoring offense in the Big West Conference versus UC Irvine, the #1 scoring defense in the Big West Conference. This is going to be a clash for sure.
Irvine will start with the basketball. Tom Nally, Brett Nansel, Rob Rourke, your 3 referees. Aron Ganot in his first season as head coach of Hawaii, and Russell Turner in his 6th season as head coach of UC Irvine. Inside, this is Dominic Dudding, and a rebound on the offensive glass and a foul on the floor for Mamadou Njai.
Very interesting. UC Irvine is the team that traditionally runs the 2-3 zone. First possession, though, Hawaii goes zone and really confuses the offense by doing so.
But even with that, UC Irvine able to get it down inside, and the big guy, Luke Nelson, the guard out of England.
He came from one side of the floor to the ball side. He's so good at catching and shooting. He can even do that off the bounce.
Former Big West Freshman of the Year a couple seasons ago. Having a nice junior campaign, as there Richie mentioned. Irvine in that 2-3 zone now on defense. Quincy Smith missing the first 3-point attempt by Hawaii. And Richie, this is a team in Hawaii that made 14 3-pointers the last time these two teams met.
That's good and it's bad. Yes, it got Hawaii the win the first time around. But are they going to rely on that 3-pointer now that they're in Irvine on the road?
Talking to assistant coach Ali Tan for the UC Irvine Anteaters before the game, he said, we're not afraid to let them shoot 3-pointers, but what we didn't do in that game in Hawaii was put a hand in their face. We can't let them shoot uncontested threes.
And really, they're just an average 3-point shooting team at just about 33%.
There's Dominique Dunning getting inside, the senior guard.
He does that so elusively. Left-hander, takes it from the right side of the floor down inside the paint. Does such a good job of that.
Had 8 points for Irvine the last time these two teams met. There's a block by Njai, and immediately a steal by Hawaii. Roderick Bobbitt got it back for the Warriors.
He leads the conference in steals now for the 2nd year in a row. And you talk about Mamadou Njai with that block. Now he's the leader in the conference in block shots.
Back-to-back turnovers, this time a swipe by Luke Nelson.
He's just begging for it inside, and that's something he didn't do in years past, but this year he's been demanding the ball in there.
Jankovic, good job standing his ground, and another turnover on the Anteaters. Jankovic gliding midair, and a foul on the floor will send Stefan Jankovic, the junior out of Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, to the free throw line.
We see it right here. He sees Mamadou Njai in there, and he says, I want to take a piece of him. I want to challenge him and see if I can take it to the basket on him. Everybody knows if they can get a dunk on Njai, they're going to be on SportsCenter.
And Jankovic, it should be noted, Richie, that while he's 6'11", and we saw him get to the line by going to the rim on that last play, he's a good 3-point shooter as well, 39%.
He's made 20 of them throughout the year, but what's even more impressive than that is from the field, he's 57%. He's coming off a fantastic game where they played CSUN, Cal State Northridge, a couple of days ago, scored 34 points in that game, had a great shooting night.
Hawaii has won 5 in a row and 13 of their last 14 games. The only loss they have had this season since losing to number 3 Oklahoma back in December was to conference rival Long Beach State on January 30th.
You see Hawaii 5-0 is up and at him. You see the end of the bench getting excited after that made free throw.
They give Monmouth a run for their money.
Yeah, they sure do.
Here's Nelson fading away. He's hit once from there already. Misses that time.
That's a very good shot for him, one he makes on a consistent basis.
Jankovic, good ball skills for the big man.
I tell you what, when Mamadou Ndiaye was a freshman, he averaged almost 5 block shots a game. This year, still having a great year blocking shots, 2.5, but people aren't afraid to attack him the way they used to. 2 possessions in a row, you've seen Jankovic take it right to him, and I think the trick is there, attack his chest, and you can probably gather a foul, or you can make a basket.
Alex Young, the senior guard for the Anteaters, hitting the 3, and it's 7-4 Irvine. Hawaii diligently getting it to Jankovic on every possession, at least for a touch. Offensive rebound and a putback dunk by Aaron Valdez.
I tell you what, he has so much athletic ability. When these two teams played down in Hawaii, he had an alley-oop pass where his nose was even with the rim.
Valdez didn't play in the Warriors' last game due to the flu. So nice to see him healthy and back out there for Coach Aran Ganat. Ndiaye lowering that shoulder.
It's really important against this 2-3 zone that they're attacking the gaps. You can get caught up taking a lot of deep three-pointers like that, Eric.
Absolutely, and that's what assistant coach for Irvine, Ollie Tom, was telling us. They can't let Roderick Bobbitt shoot uncontested threes. They got a hand in his face that time. Nobody in Dominique Dunning's face, and he misses the 3. Good hustle by Nelson on the offensive glass.
UC Irvine is always so good about getting offensive rebounds that they have nothing, setting back up their offense.
Mike Best on a great cut. He was patient, and Nelson found him.
It was a ball screen for Best. He slipped it and was unguarded, diving to the basket.
9-6, Irvine on top. Irvine struggling a bit in their last 5 games with 2 losses and an overtime win. But their last 2 games, they've shot lights out, averaging nearly 95 points per game in their last 2 games. And they're off to a hot start here at home against Hawaii. 9-6, the Anteaters on top early. The Rainbow Warriors on the road, trying to pick up another conference victory. Anteaters so far.
Yeah, 4 players for UC Irvine have already scored a field goal, and that's what makes them so good. They're balanced. They have that inside-outside attack, really good post players, really good wings, and tremendous guards.
And they seem to be baiting the Hawaii defense inside, and when they have to come down and guard Mamadou Ndiaye.
Absolutely. Mamadou Ndiaye is the guy that they want to have the ball in their hands around the basket. He's a 65% field goal shooter, so he's tremendous down inside. But I'm really looking at UC Irvine's defense. That 2-3 zone has given Hawaii some problems, and I expect to see some short corner, high post passes for Hawaii to get some scores down inside.
Roderick Bobbitt quickly out of the break, the senior guard who had 23 points against Irvine the last time these two teams met. Saw Mamadou Ndiaye on the bench as Irvine stretches it with a long 3 by Alex Young.
He's been really hot the last couple of games. See him get off from a scoring standpoint would go a long way for UC Irvine in this game.
Giannis Demakopoulos now anchoring that 2-3 zone for Irvine. And look who got behind him. It's Aaron Valdez, who had to leapfrog over a teammate for that alley-oop.
He had to dunk over one of his own teammates in Mike Thomas.
Who knew that once he got behind the 7'2" Demakopoulos, he still had to deal with a defender in his own jersey.
7'2" center is your backup center when your starter's 7'6". I always say it, not a bad issue for UC Irvine.
Hawaii's taking a 1-point lead. 4 on the shot clock for Aaron Wright, rimming out.
A lot of penetration by Hawaii against this 2-3 zone. Not a whole lot of passes to the elbows. Try to get those elbows go high-low to a short corner, or you try to hit a short corner and have the guy at the elbow dive to the block. Try to get some in-the-paint scoring opportunities.
The alley-oop. Roderick Bobbin, and there you see Valdez. He had to compete down low with his teammate, and I believe that was Mike Thomas down there, who was also going up for the alley-oop at the same time. I guess if you're Bobbin, you just figure you throw it up, one of them's going to get it.
That's right. I know Mike Thomas has probably never been dunked on by his own teammate
Oh, my goodness. Aaron Valdez, another thunderous alley-oop.
That is 3 slams by Valdez. He's in his hometown. He's in Orange County.
Junior guard out of Whittier, putting on an aerial assault here in the early going. We'll check the Sports Center top 10 later for that one. And an and one, good answer on the other end by Giannis Dimakopoulos.
Here's that slam by Valdez on the out-of-bounds play, unguarded from the top of the key, down the paint, and right over the freshman, Jonathan Galloway.
Good gracious. A great set piece out of the inbound for Hawaii. Dimakopoulos can't convert the three-point play. It's a 1-point Hawaii lead.
I tell you, every time I think there's going to be a quiet moment, something big happens for Hawaii. Nice pass down inside. That's what you want to do. Penetrate and dump it down inside.
And it leads to open three-pointers for Sai Tumala, who's a 43% three-point shooter on the year, the graduate transfer from Arizona State.
If I'm UC Irvine, I am keeping an eye on him. The majority of his shots are three-pointers. Inside, outside passes will get you open looks against the 2-3.
Good cut inside by Alex Young. He just couldn't get the roll. An offensive rebound for the Anteaters.
I like that. Galloway, punch it out. If you can't get a hand on it, punch it out and let one of your teammates get it.
Giannis Dimakopoulos, Richie, he's a guy who's maybe the backup for this team because of Mamadou Njai's presence for the Anteaters, but he plays like a starter.
Well, he's among the most skilled big men in the country, in my opinion. He's from Greece, has that Euro game. He can shoot with his right or his left around the basket, and he can step out and hit three-point shots, too.
Dimakopoulos now with 4 points. Stefan Jankovic. And that might be an own goal.
I think it is.
That was an own goal on the tip by Jonathan Galloway. But the credit for the points will go to Stefan Jankovic.
Well, it's a battle down inside. And if you can't get your hand on the basketball, just try to tap it up and let one of your teammates get it. Now, we've seen that on both ends now.
Aaron Wright airmailing that three. I feel bad for Galloway, Richie. He's got dunked on by that alley-oop, and then he tips it into his own bucket. Aaron Valdez can fly. He might not be able to fly that high. An Aaron pass goes out of bounds, and it'll be UC Irvine basketball when we return. It's Rivalry Week on ESPN. Hawaii high flying against the Anteaters and leading this one by 4. Inside the Brand Event Center. And remind you that this week on ESPN's Big Monday, we'll have number 7 Virginia taking on number 11 Miami at 7 Eastern in the ACC. Then we head to the Big 12 at 9 for another beauty when number 13 Iowa State battles number 10 West Virginia at the Coliseum in Morgantown. Both games are also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. 11:36 to go here in the first half. Eric Rothman, Richie Schuler with you. Rivalry Week on ESPN, and what a rivalry this has become in the Big West. The top 2 teams in the conference this season. Hawaii 10-1 in conference play. Irvine 9-2, with one of those losses coming on the road against Hawaii earlier this month.
Take a look at Hawaii. They're 58% from the field, and 12 of their 17 points have been in the paint. Quite the opposite from the last time these two teams played, when you said they scored a lot of points, 14 three-pointers.
As the shot clock expiring, Roderick Bobbin had to let it go. Offensive rebound by Stefan Jovanovic. Good job by Dimakopoulos to stop another effort for the Warriors. Offensive rebound by Galloway. Got pushed, no whistle.
And that's good transition defense there by Irvine. You saw Irvine offensively got all the way to the cup, missed the layup. but they're picked up right about half quarter above the three-point line anyway by Irvine when they're coming back down. Hawaii, that is.
Isaac Fleming missing the corner three. Here comes Luke Nelson for the Anteaters. The big man, Demakopoulos, missing the three. 7'2", he can stretch the floor.
The big fella can shoot out there. And a lot of big men do not like to guard outside by the three-pointer. That keeps him wide open for shots.
Some sloppy possessions here for Hawaii as they've got it set in the half court. It seems like they've been able to find the open man. They're just not being able to hold on to the basketball.
Well, Hawaii's really good when they can score in transition. UC Irvine is so good down the floor. As you see, Saitamala tried to save it. And I believe, the referee said it went off. I believe it was Aaron Wright for UC Irvine right off the back of his leg.
That's a good call there by Rob Rourke. Referee. And a block by Njai. That's his second of the game. 14th in the nation in total blocks this season. They go back to him on the offensive end, and he finds the bucket.
That's his trademark move. He likes to take the basketball on that block and dribble into the paint with his right hand. Sometimes one dribble, sometimes two. He'll take that little hook shot, but if you take that away, he'll spin back around and try to go baseline dunk.
Good hands by Irvine on defense. And a whistle bails outside Tumala, who really had nowhere to go.
Here it is right here. He has a shot block on this end. And he goes down on the other end, gets the ball inside, dribbles inside. If you give him that hook shot, he's taking it. And he can knock down that little 7-8 footer.
It's a good ball fake, too, to draw off the help side defense by Roderick Bobbitt. Bobbitt bit on the fake. And the left Mamadou one-on-one. Nelson, a steal for Irvine.
Jovanovic got caught. The jump pass. It's a big no-no for basketball. Don't jump in the air and try to pass.
And one inside, Mike Best.
Mike Best, 6'10", 215 pounds. Plays a lot stronger than his weight. Little slide dribble move, shot fake in the air, and he gets the and one.
Side Tumala called for the personal.
Oh, he's fired up. He's pumped.
And coming out of that timeout, Richie, a 4-0 run here for Irvine. And it looks like on the offensive end, at least, Hawaii a bit out of sorts.
Well, it's difficult to play against that zone. And when they're interchanging a 7-2 guy and a 7-6 guy, and then on one of the wings down there in the 2-3 zone for UC Irvine, you have a 6'10 guy. It can be difficult to attack. And at some point in time, yeah, you're going to get three-point shots around the perimeter, but at some point in time, you're going to have to get the ball right there at the elbow. Now you look to attack.
And that's exactly what Sai Tumala does. Tumala, who started his career at Michigan, then played some JUCO ball, 2 years at Arizona State, and now a graduate here for Hawaii. Very productive senior for Hawaii. As Irvine trying to go inside, missing the cup. Fleming trying to go up against Njai, and that's a tough task.
Yeah, not just Njai. Mike Best was there, too. And Fleming a little bit out of sorts. He was out 4 games with an ankle issue and came back Thursday when they were on the road a couple of days ago and wasn't quite himself, but he was Big West Player of the Week just about 2 weeks ago. So you can attack a zone with penetration, get inside those gaps, but making those passes through the guards, in the gaps, into the paint, and go further.
That's what they were trying to do, but a foul underneath, an offensive foul against Hawaii on Stefan Jankovic. Gives the ball back to Irvine. A whiteout here at the Brent Event Center with fans getting some terrible towels as they walked into the building tonight. As you see, 5 turnovers on Hawaii, and that has really gotten the student section behind us pumped up, leading to some big baskets for the Anteaters.
Fortunate for Hawaii, UC Irvine only has 3 points off the 5 Hawaii turnovers.
Njai, the slam off the dish from Jaron Martin.
Mama do what Mama does. His teammate Jaron Martin's going to dish it to him every time around the basket.
And guards just must love it because he's such a big target down low. Rebound by Mike Best, but when you're driving and you can see a 7'6" teammate waving his hands, that must make things easier.
I agree with that, especially those 2 guys are roommates. Did you know that?
The little man and the big man.
That's right. Balances it out. See, right now, just a lot of passing around the perimeter. The ball has not gone inside the three-point line yet.
And a turnover on Hawaii, their sixth, stepped on the baseline. And we've seen Irvine settle into that 2-3 zone on defense, garnering turnovers on Hawaii, blocks by Mamadou Njai, and easy buckets for the big man on the other end. The Anteaters are up by 1. Went to Hawaii earlier this month and lost by 18, and right now they're up by 1 with 7:22 to go here in the first half. Eric Rothman, Richie Schuler here with you. And we've had some exciting offensive plays, Richie, but it's really been the story of Irvine's zone defense, drawing 6 Hawaii turnovers so far.
It's taken Hawaii out of sorts, that's for sure. I don't feel like Hawaii's comfortable attacking that zone. Again, the first time they played, they made a lot of three-pointers. Now they're 1 of 5 from three-point range. They have to find other ways to score. And one way that Hawaii can do that is to use their speed. If they can get some transition buckets, they'll be fine. But if UC Irvine's set in their defense, it's very difficult to score.
Mike Best driving inside and just pushing Sai Tumala out of the way.
He is playing dominant. He gained a lot of strength in the offseason. I know he's thin, but he has some athleticism to him. And believe me, he's put on about 10 pounds of muscle in the offseason.
Mike Best now leading all scorers with 7.
Keep in mind the Stan Sheriff Center just last week, as we see that three-point shot. About this time, Hawaii went on a 13-0 run to take control.
Sai Tumala getting the 3 there for the Warriors. That stops a 9-2 UC Irvine run, as Hawaii really reliant on those three-pointers the last time these two teams met. And maybe Tumala's 3 right there is the cog that gets them going. Running transition, the block by Best. It's an offensive foul to boot. Quincy Smith called for the charge.
Tremendous defense by Mike Best. Textbook defense, up in the air, 2 hands, no bend whatsoever, straight in the air. And Quincy Smith, look what he does here to be called for the player control foul. You see his left arm, he pushes Mike Best in the chest, back. That's a player control foul any day of the week.
Mike Best doing his best Mamadou Njai down there with the block. Best cutting inside. That's the second time that play has worked for Irvine.
It's go and set a ball screen and then slip it. And I don't even think he even gets all the way there close enough to set a ball screen. It's almost like you're faking. Hey, I'm going to set a ball screen, make the defense believe it, so his defender hedges out, and then he slips right to the basket. And generally speaking, he's usually wide open.
Now, how much of that on the defensive end is them having to respect the ball handling skills of Luke Nelson, who's at the top of that pick?
Yeah, because if you leave him alone, he's going to pop it. He's going to pop that three-point shot. He's a volume three-point shooter, and he'll knock down a lot of those. So that's why it's so good to have balance. You have players on both these rosters that can score inside, and you have players that can score outside. And it makes both of them so difficult to guard. And we're talking about UC Irvine's offense. They're not even the best offense in the league. They're third best, but they are the best defense. They're built on their defensive abilities.
Mike Best with 5:54 to go here in the first half. Already has 9 points. That's 1 above his season average.
He came to play, no question.
He's a senior. He does not want to disappoint in his final regular season game against Hawaii. Strip steal by Martin. Running the break with Nelson. And 1.
And that's making your defense become your offense. Aaron Valdez on one end for Hawaii. Tries to take 1-2 dribbles. Gets ripped. And they take it on the other end. They have the numbers, and boom, there you go. An and 1 play by Luke Nelson.
Valdez coming back on defense and getting called for the foul. So Luke Nelson, who's a 92% free throw shooter on the year, at the line for the Anteaters.
You know the best part of that, though? Yeah, with Luke Nelson made the layup, but all 5 UC Irvine players were in the paint, following it up, looking for an offensive rebound just in case he missed.
It's a 5-point Irvine advantage.
got to get some movement. Look to hit those big guys. Can't just dribble around the perimeter. Now there's no time but to shoot.
Bobbitt with 4 to shoot goes baseline. Bobbitt got it back. A mid-range jumper not there. Offensive rebound by Jovanovic. And Hawaii just not able to find any entry inside this 2-3 zone. Settling for three-pointers, this time by Mike Thomas. And a loose ball foul going up against Hawaii. It's Stefan Jovanovic who was crashing the offensive glass.
Right, this is a grind-out game so far. No question about that. And, yeah, Hawaii is just stymied right now offensively. They're not knocking down the three-pointers. They're not getting a whole lot of transition points. And they're not doing a job of attacking the zone well enough to score consistently.
Dimakopoulos back in for Njai. Kicks it out to Nelson for 3. And Nelson gives a bit of a stare down to the Hawaii bench as Irvine is up by 8.
Unselfish basketball. Nelson dropped it down inside of Dimakopoulos, reset his feet. Dimakopoulos didn't have a good shot, so he kicked it right back out to his teammate, and that's 3 points.
Irvine on top by 3 run, has an 8-point advantage at home against Hawaii. And on our next Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com, we've got Avery Johnson's Crimson Tide taking on number 14 Kentucky at 7 Eastern in the SEC. Then we head to the Big Ten for Denzel Valentine and the number 8 Spartans battling the Buckeyes in Columbus at 9. Both games are also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. 12-3 run for Irvine. Eric Rothman, Richie Schuler here with you. What is working right now, Richie, for the Anteaters?
Well, the Anteaters are scoring points off turnovers. Now, they're 6 of 9 from the field after starting 6 for 17. So they've turned it on a little bit, and a lot of that's because they're forcing turnovers. 7 turnovers for Hawaii. They have 10 points off those turnovers, but Hawaii started 7 of 12 from the field, and they've since gone 2 of 11.
Over 4 minutes remaining in the half. As you see, that 2-3 zone by Irvine has been very effective tonight. Valdez got inside the zone and got fouled.
So that's pretty good offense. You have Roderick Bobbitt, who's one of the best guards in the conference, attack the gap and get it inside. Now, he leads the league in assists, dumps it down to Aaron Valdez underneath the basket, and he's a kid that can finish underneath.
It's a second personal foul on Jonathan Galloway, the redshirt freshman. And so Valdez, who has had some spectacular dunks already in this game, impressing what is his hometown fans out of Lucerna High School, the Whittier, California native. Always nice to come home and take ticket requests and leave them going home happy with some alley-oop dunks.
That's right. Now, he's a young man that's battled some turf toe, missed some games because of it, and then had the flu just a couple of days ago, so he's been in and out of the lineup. Having him back is a big, big boost for Hawaii.
Both him and Isaac Fleming, 2 guards for Hawaii, have dealt with injury over the last 9 games. Hawaii has had one of those 2, at least one of those 2, out of the lineup for 8 of those 9 games. Both of them in the lineup tonight against conference rival Irvine.
I think this might be the first time in conference play they've been healthy on the road. Everybody full speed.
Galloway inside after committing the foul on the other end, gets the bucket.
Look how fast Hawaii gets the ball up the court. Within 2.5 seconds, Bobbitt was already crossing half court. But Irvine is so good in their transition defense. They make you play half court offense.
Good feed inside to Mike Thomas on the assist from Stefan Jovanovic.
Get the ball inside. Good things are going to happen. Jovanovic didn't go up to shoot, but he saw a streaking Mike Thomas.
Thomas, another LA local out of Woodland Hills. So Valdez and Thomas have some fans in the crowd tonight. Two on the shot clock for Irvine. Good defense by Bobbitt in the corner. And a Hail Mary 3 by Wright is airballed for a shot clock violation.
Yeah, ball has to hit the rim, otherwise it's a shot clock violation. That's a turnover. Now Hawaii down 6, attacking this 2-3 zone. makes you wonder, are you going to see some more of that, try to get the ball in the post? Sometimes if you can play inside-outside offense against a 2-3 zone, I think it's more effective than just trying to go outside and driving downhill all the time.
Well, the first time these two teams played, Richie, Roderick Bobbitt went off for 23 points, and he was 3 of 4 from long range. And tonight, only 2 points so far. And he's a guy that I know the Irvine coaching staff wanted to key in on defensively.
Absolutely. He hit some big-time shots.
Here's Bobbitt on the left wing. Bobbitt up and over Njai for the floater.
He's so talented. He's so talented. There's talk of Roderick Bobbitt. There's people saying that he should get serious consideration for Conference Player of the Year in this league. Doesn't have great numbers when it comes to, now he's shooting 13 points a game. That's pretty good. But as far as like big-time scoring, not there. But leads the league in assists, leads the league in steals, and he's on the best team in the conference.
It brings Hawaii within 4. 2 minutes to play now in the first half. Njai calling for it. Lowers the shoulder and spins around Jovanovic.
I mean, how long do you think those legs are? He's able to wrap around you and get a great angle to the basket. I mean, he has an 8'3" wingspan.
Get up on his tippy toes and dunk the basketball.
Easily.
Sometimes you only need a 2-inch vertical.
That's right. Is that what you had back in the day?
I still have it. Bucket by Hawaii brings it back within 4. Hawaii going bucket for bucket right now with Irvine just trying to keep pace.
I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but Roderick Bobbitt, every time he guards the point guard, he looks him right in the eye. Gives him a little bit of intimidation. And because he's so good at ripping it from you, picking your pocket, it can be intimidating.
Strong take by Luke Nelson, the junior guard, lays it in.
He's dynamic. Great Britain national team member.
Under a minute to play now in the first half. And a turnover. Nope, they're going to say Irvine got a hand on it. And Russell Turner, coach for Irvine, has the basketball, and he is furious.
Russell Turner has come from some incredible programs in his career. And he was a terrific basketball player at Hampton-Sydney College in Virginia. Runner-up Division III Player of the Year. He is ultra competitive. And he's going to stick up for his teammates and his players every night.
And a blocking foul is going to get him even more steam. This time the foul on Aaron Wright. And Wright you saw being restrained there by his teammate Luke Nelson. And Russell Turner just doing everything he can not to blow a gasket here with 40 seconds remaining in the first half.
I mean, he's an emotional coach, but his players love him because he sticks up for them. And he keeps them on edge and keeps them competitive. And this is 4 years in a row he's led this program to 20-plus wins.
Just 9 20-plus win seasons in the school's 51-year basketball history. 4 of those coming with Coach Turner. Bobbitt, good head fake. Njai stayed in front of him. 6 to shoot. Jankovic misses, and now Irvine a chance to end the half with a bucket. If they can do something in the next 11 seconds here as a 30-second timeout taken by Coach Turner and the Anteaters. They've really done everything well here in the first
out of the game by the end of the contest.
And Hawaii now is going to be trailing at the half. What do they need to do to adjust during the break?
Well, I think really it just comes down to offensively. Of course, there's some things they need to tighten up on defense, but offensively, I think they're having a difficult time scoring against that zone. They've got to find a way to have a better inside-outside attack in it.
Final 5 seconds of the first half. Here's Nelson driving up with the left hand. Amadou Njai, the offensive putback for the slam to end the half.
And if you're going to go into a half, that's the way you want to go. You want to have the momentum going into the locker room. Now you're up by 8 points, and you have Hawaii shook just a little bit. Both teams are going to have to make some adjustments coming out, but that was a heck of a first half for the Anteaters.
Somebody's going to need to call a rim doctor because Amadou Njai just bent the iron with that slam. Irvine on top by 8 over Hawaii. Let's head into the studio now with Brendan Fitzgerald and Jason Capel for your ESPNU halftime report.
Okay, Eric.
Top of Hawaii by 8 points as we take a look at what's trending in college basketball. All 4 number 1 seeds will remain unchanged. And number 3, Oklahoma, big win at West Virginia in a big game by Buddy Hield, 29 points. And then how about LSU, Richie, dropping a game today to Tennessee when Ben Simmons did not start in that game. LSU just could never get the ball rolling in that one.
Well, you know, they talk a lot about Ben Simmons, how he didn't start today. They say it's academic related, and it's an academic matter that'll be addressed after the game.
Mamadou Njai, he's leading the way for the Irvine Anteaters. He's got 10 points. He's got 8 points, and he's joined down low, Richie, by number 33, Mike Best. Those two have been quite the pair down inside.
Well, you want to talk about what Hawaii needs to do to try to come back in this game. It's stop the interior play of UC Irvine. Njai and Best, those two guys are really playing at a high clip.
Quick shot out of the break by Mike Thomas. And a collision after the basket between Thomas and Njai.
We saw Mike Thomas slip after his shoe fell off, and as a result, Njai falls on top of him. Good sportsmanship by Mamadou to pick him up off the ground.
Clean up the sweat, and Njai is up. And when a big man like that falls on top of you, you're just happy to walk away with just missing a shoe.
That's right, 300 pounds. Well, UC Irvine is 14-1 this season when leading at the halftime break.
6-point advantage now for the Anteaters. Dominique Dunning at the point for Irvine. We haven't seen him since the opening 2 minutes of the ball game. Good move by Best to get to the rim.
That's good basketball. Catch the ball with your back to the basket and spin to your left hand and slam with 2 hands. No fear whatsoever.
Nice feed inside to Stefan Jankovic. Credit the assist to Roderick Bobbitt, and now a steal for Hawaii off the inbound by Quincy Smith. Smith left alone, far corner. Nearly got the roll, and a whistle on the rebound will go against Irvine.
See, now that's how Hawaii plays their basketball games. They force turnovers just like that, and they score in bunches by doing so. They'll score the basket, they'll get a steal, they'll go right back. It's really deflating for the opponent.
And another whistle off the inbound. This time it's going to go against Mike Best. Both of those fouls actually going against Mike Best. So as well as Best has played on the offensive end, quick 2 fouls here to start the second half.
Well, very fortunate for Irvine. He had 0 at the break, so he has 2 now. He'll stay in the basketball game.
Stefan Jankovic, a 75% free throw shooter. He's a native of Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, but was actually born in Belgrade, Serbia. This season leading point scorer for Hawaii with 16 as he gets the back end there. They left Alex Young open in the far corner, and Mike Best found him.
That was a good move. Mike Best had to take it at a defender, took it at Young's defender, got his attention and dished it down to Young.
Dominique Dunning fighting for the rebound for Irvine. And a foul going against Hawaii. It will be on number 25, Mike Thomas.
You have to appreciate the way the Anteaters are playing here. Total team basketball. They have 12 assists to 3 turnovers.
A very good number as Irvine has worked it around. And they've got a ton of post-production play from Best and Njai. There's Njai again, a hop, skip, and a slam dunk.
And for most players, that's an impossible pass to catch. For Njai, easy to reach up and grab it.
And a turnover on Hawaii, out of bounds in transition. Good hands on the transition defense. I believe it was Dominique Dunning who got his paws on it.
Well, this is a critical time for Hawaii. I mean, UC Irvine's could break this thing open right now. Get a bucket here, have another good defensive stop or two. This thing could be wide open.
It's those turnovers that seem to be doing Hawaii in. It's now the biggest lead of the night for Irvine. Nelson leaning, and a late whistle will send Luke Nelson to the free throw line.
When you have a guy like Luke Nelson, he's able to knock it down from the outside. He's a great decision maker, playmaking passer, exciting player, but he's also able to score towards the basket or stop and pop the way he did there.
10 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds already for Luke Nelson, who has over 1,000 points in his career as an Anteater. Nelson hits them both. He's a 92% free throw shooter, so no surprise there. And the Irvine lead continues to mount, now at 11. Jankovic tiptoeing on the baseline, out to bob it for 3. Offensive board by Thomas. Reset for Hawaii. Jankovic, step back 3 from the corner.
Such a weapon. He's 6'11", leads his team in double-doubles, and he can shoot just about 40% from behind the arc.
What a huge bucket by Jankovic to stop the Irvine run.
You got to think he's another player of the year candidate for this conference as well. 15 a game, 6.5 boards.
Quick possession there by Irvine, and Hawaii looking to get some momentum. Smith, the floater off the glass, rattles in.
We're seeing more and more players do that against the big Njai. A lot of floaters over the top of them.
Nelson tripped up. He pushed off in an offensive foul.
So now a little momentum for Hawaii. And how about the travel group from Hawaii that's here tonight? They travel well. One of the best teams in the Big West Conference that travels, and they have some loyal fans that come all the way from Hawaii, go across the pond, and go to conference games here in the Big West Conference.
Thomas, mid-range jumper. Mamadou swats it away, but a reset for Hawaii. Bobbitt flipping it up. It goes in, but a foul on the floor. No basket.
Wow, that was a good play. Hawaii with all the momentum right now. They're doing a really good job of starting to pick apart this 2-3 zone. They're doing it with penetration more so than post touches or elbow touches.
Skip pass. Quincy Smith driving. And he threw it away. And that will stop Hawaii's 5-0 run, but they have gotten back within single digits. Irvine was up by 11. It's now a 6-point Anteaters lead, as Irvine will have the basketball when we return.
Shots aren't available because the defense is trying to close out to the shooters. They can drive. They have such tremendous balance. It all starts with the size they have inside.
Now for Hawaii, they're in the middle of a 5-0 run right now. Is Stefan Jankovic the answer for them on the offensive end?
Well, he's coming off a 34-point game at CSUN. He has 12 points right now, and I would say of only 4 of 6 shooting, he's a guy they have to get more involved. He's a guy they have to get the ball in his hand and let him go to work. I'd like to see Jankovic get the ball around the elbows, right around the free throw line, and try to take it to the basket from there or use his 15-foot mid-range shot.
Best slips again inside, and another assist from Nelson to Best.
Wow. Nelson thread the needle through 2 defenders and a lot of arms to get the ball inside the Best hands.
13 points now for Mike Best, who averages just 8 on the season. Yankovic triple team. Valdez trying to knock down the 3. Offensive rebound blocked and a foul.
What's a good second and third effort by Hawaii. And Yankovic, I thought if he had just gone straight up when he first caught the ball off Bobbitt, I thought he would have had 2 points. He was going up against Aaron Valdez, and Valdez has tremendous athleticism. Or excuse me, not Aaron Valdez. I'm sorry. He was up there next to Mamadou Njai, and I think a little bit of the fear there from the 7'6" guy stopped him from going straight up.
Mamadou Njai called for the foul. Njai wanted that block. If he would have gotten that block, that would have been number 200 in his career. He's 1 away right now from number 200.
4th all-time in Big West Conference history. It's only his 3rd year. He's a junior, and he was injured half the season last year. That tells you the kind of impact player that he's been.
Full court press now for Hawaii. Trying to claw back down by 7. Good hands, Thomas. Excuse me, that's Roderick Bobbitt. Tried to keep it in bounds. Stepped on the sideline. Ball will go back to Irvine.
Well, you see Hawaii starting to pick up the pressure a little bit. They're down by 7 points. They're picking up full court after the made free throw, guarding man-to-man. And a lot of teams will wait until it's too late to start picking up full court. Hawaii, they don't generally give up a lot of points by pressing. They usually do a good job of forcing turnovers when they do.
Njai calling for it down low, screaming for the basketball, and he's fouled.
That's growth for Njai. His freshman year, he didn't get the ball down there much at all. He was more of a screen and roll kind of guy. Increasingly, he's got it more and more, and this season comes back, is having a tremendous junior year, and he's doing a really good job of demanding the basketball inside and using his different moves. He has 2 or 3 really good moves down inside. He's so difficult to stop with all that size.
Went to Irvine practice, and he is the most vocal guy on the floor during practice. And there was a guy on his team, and it was a guy who doesn't play, one of the redshirt players for Irvine, who was on the bike, the stationary bike. And Mamadou was taunting the player that was on the stationary bike, saying, "What is this, a vacation for you? Get on the floor."
He's extremely charismatic. He's a lot of fun. Uh-oh.
Injured player on the floor. It's Quincy Smith. I don't know if he got popped with an elbow, but he's grabbing the right side of his face.
Well, the trainer for Hawaii has not entered the floor yet. The Smith is struggling. I don't know if he got smacked in the face somehow. You see him in the upper right-hand corner.
He gets teammate
by his own teammate, Sai Tamala.
And they're going to go to the booth to review for a flagrant foul. Obviously, they're not going to find anything. But anytime a player that gets hit above the shoulders, Richie, they go over, take a look at it. And in this case, can't really give a flagrant foul to the player's teammate. So just an inadvertent hand to the face by Sai Tumala on his teammate Quincy Smith.
Hawaii's the only team I've ever seen in history that has had one player get dunked on by their own teammate, Aaron Valdez, and then in the second half, the referees are looking at a flagrant foul on his own teammate, and they'll soon see on the video that it was obviously Tamala, just an accident, his own teammate.
Quincy Smith will have to take a seat regardless. And so when we get back to live action, Smith now on the bench with his 2 points. It will be Hawaii basketball here. 14:42 to go in the second half. 8-point advantage for Irvine. Dawn till dusk basketball on ESPN. We're happy to wrap up a great day of college basketball. 21 games, 14 and a half hours of coverage in 7 different conferences playing today across ESPN. It all started at 11:30 a.m. in South Florida and now ends here at what will be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast by the time we're done here in Irvine. Yankovic at the line. He has been key for Hawaii, keeping them in this game. You see with 12 points, but missing the free throw. It's the second one, and a 7-point Irvine advantage.
Well, we've seen it again here by Hawaii. After the made free throw, they go right into full court man-to-man. Try to get deflection or steal on the inbounds, and then just pick up full court.
Nelson from the left wing. Irvine going to the reserves as Best and Enjai are on the bench. Demakopoulos back in the front court for the Anteaters.
Somebody's got to penetrate.
Valdez is the one to do it.
And that was an athletic move. He penetrated. He had to reach around the defender with his right hand and knock it high off the glass.
Valdez now with 10.6 rebounds, but back the other way. Galloway wasting no time on the and one.
Jonathan Galloway, the redshirt freshman, 235 pounds. Here's the ball screen and the slip. They do it all the time, UC Irvine. Pretend the ball screen, slip it. We've seen Mike Best do it a couple other times, and he's so powerful. He's able to finish as a freshman and get the and one.
Hawaii just has not been able to figure that play out at all. It's worked 3 times for Best. Now Galloway gets an and one opportunity. The foul on Aaron Valdez, that's his 3rd.
Well, it's not easy to figure out because it's a read. It's something that the offensive screener has to decide to do. But what Hawaii can have is they can have help side defense. They're ready to take away the shot.
Martin from the outside. Galloway the offensive rebound and a foul on Hawaii. It's the second personal on side. Tumala back-to-back offensive rebounds for Irvine.
And that's what makes them so good. They're a tremendous rebounding team. Actually, both these clubs are. But you see all the offensive boards by UC Irvine.
Good defense by Jankovic to get the steal. Demakopoulos was trying to steamroll him, and Stefan Jankovic had nothing of it.
I'd like to see Hawaii earlier in the shot clock get inside the three-pointer. It's always the second half of the shot clock that they actually get inside there. They're going nowhere right now.
6 on the shot clock. The turnaround by Jankovic. Rebounded by Wright. Kick out. Martin, the head fake. Inside Demakopoulos, and an offensive foul will go against Jaron Martin.
Have to be under control. Coaches teach it all the time. Come to a jump stop so that your momentum doesn't carry you after you get rid of the basketball.
Ten turnovers for Hawaii. That's the 8th on Irvine. You mentioned it, Richie. Hawaii trailing here. They're taking a lot of time in each possession. And slowly the clock is winding down, not in their favor. That was a quicker possession, but an errant shot by Valdez. Galloway running the floor.
Long rebounds come from long shots. And you saw the touchdown pass for a slam dunk on the other end for UC Irvine.
It's got the student section riled up here. 9-point advantage. Tumala in the near corner stops the bleeding.
The back and forth battle. And all these turnovers, 8 for UC Irvine. They only had 3 at halftime. So 5 in the first 8 minutes of play here in the second half.
And a quick whistle as Sharif Dramé for Hawaii picks up the personal foul. Big bucket by Sai Tumala to stop the bleeding and bring Hawaii within 6. But Irvine has been all over the court here in the second half. Jonathan Galloway getting the Hail Mary for the dunk. Basketball and Hawaii UC Irvine atop the conference, battling it out here. Long Beach State, though, nipping at their heels at 9-3. Those top three teams really battling here the last couple weeks of the season, trying to jockey for positioning before the conference tournament. And Irvine right now at home leading Hawaii 53-47 with 11:36 to play in the second half. Eric Rothman and Richie Schuler here with you. You see Sai Tubala there in the black jersey, number 12, hitting the big three-pointer for the Warriors right before the break. And that kind of slowed down Irvine, as UC Irvine has been dominating, especially in points in the paint, 32-18. And they get inside again, but Young cannot hit the bank shot.
I tell you, it really goes to talk about how UC Irvine's transition defense has been so good. 8 turnovers for UC Irvine. Hawaii's only converted 3 points. But on the flip side, 10 turnovers for Hawaii. Irvine has 15 points off of it.
Aaron Wright picks up his third personal foul. That will send Stefan Jankovic to the free throw line. And Richie, if Hawaii is going to get into this basketball game, because their shots, especially from three-point land, haven't really been there, aside from that big Tumala three just before the break, they could use some help at the free throw line. Absolutely.
They have to knock down these free throws. And right now they've only made 7 of them. Now, you talk about Hawaii's three-point shooting in the first game. 14 for 30 the first time they played a week ago. Tonight, 4 of 13. So they're not getting those staying three-point shots, and Irvine doing a really good job of getting a hand in the face and pressuring those three-pointers, not allowing clean looks.
Mamadou Njai and Mike Best both checking back into the game during that last timeout. Njai and Best combining for 24 points as Jankovic brings Hawaii within 4.
And these are the kind of games that every possession matters. Every little mistake will hurt your team.
Right up with the left hand and a whistle. A foul on Aaron Valdez, Richie. That's his 4th.
Well, that's not good for Hawaii. But credit the move there. Wright took it to the basket with his right hand. If he had gone up to try to shoot with the right hand, Valdez would have blocked that. Switched over to his left hand, and they call a foul.
So now Wright, senior guard out of Cerritos, 55% free throw shooter on the year at the line. And Hawaii trailing in this game, Richie, really cannot afford to lose Valdez. He's a guy who has really silenced the crowd a couple times tonight with some monstrous alley-oop dunks. And he's a guy that can turn the switch and score a lot of points in a quick amount of time.
He can. He's 10 points, 6 boards tonight. Now they're going to take him out and bring in Isaac Fleming, who's only played 4 minutes in this game and has scored 0 points so far. So look to see Isaac Fleming try to get off the way he had been before he got hurt a couple weeks back.
Nice turnaround jumper there by Jankovic as he continues to roll now with 17.
Good defense by Jermaine.
Roderick Bobbitt got the steal, and a foul on Aaron Wright coming back in transition, and a little pushing and shoving there. Things getting chippy between the Big West Conference rivals.
Hey, this is big. This is huge. The UC Irvine wins right here. Look at the takeaway here. And Bobbitt gets fouled by Wright going down the floor. But if Irvine wins this game, they're locked up together in first place, both with 2 losses. If Hawaii wins this game, they have a 2-game advantage lead, and they're pretty much on cruise control now. No coach will admit to that. Of course, you're not in cruise control. You still have to win games, but they're in total control of the conference regular season.
Well, let's not forget, both of these teams still have to play Long Beach State again. Next game for Irvine is against Long Beach State on the 24th here at home, and then Hawaii finishes out their regular season against Long Beach State. If Long Beach State could win those 2 games, they could find themselves atop the conference.
And they've done it before. Dan Munson, he built Gonzaga before Mark Few took over there, and then he went to Minnesota, Long Beach State now, and the success he's had, I think he won 3 championships in a row a few years back.
So it's a 3-team race right now as Roderick Bobbitt hits the free throw. A 1-and-1 opportunity for him. The 4th foul on Aaron Wright. So both number 32s in this game now with 4 fouls. Valdez for Hawaii and Wright for Irvine.
Comes the horns play. Allows the point guard to go off either side and look for the big man rolling to the basket.
Best with 10 on the shot clock. Double teamed on the baseline. Blocked by Stumala. Best got it back. Now Njai has it. And a whistle. Count the basket. I wasn't sure because referee Brett Nansel did not signal until he took a few steps down to walk towards the bench that it was a shooting foul. And they're going to give Mamadou Njai the bucket.
It's very difficult to officiate him. His freshman year 2 years ago, the officials had a difficult time knowing how to call him. And there was a lot of fouls called against him.
They've changed the foul, so it's not a shooting foul. It's actually a foul on the floor now, but a 1-and-1 because Irvine is in the bonus.
Now you see Njai getting more calls on the offensive end as he's developed his game. But his arms are so long, he doesn't get off the floor extremely quick. It's difficult to guard him on that one right there. It looked like the foul was being called on the floor, but they called it in the act of shooting.
Njai misses the second one. Mike Best fighting for the offensive rebound, but Fleming comes out with it. 4-point Irvine advantage. Hawaii basketball halfway through the second half.
They've got to get that guy right there, number 0, involved. He's 10 points a game. Tonight has 0.
Four on the shot clock. Bobbitt, nowhere to go. Jankovic has it. Did he get it off? No. Shot clock violation.
All 3 officials signaled it. That was close. And you see it here. Jankovic takes it. Look at the top of the screen where the shot clock is. It says 0 and it has not left his hand. Tremendous call by the officials in a critical time.
And they're going to look at it. So, Brett Nansel, Rob Rourke, and referee Tom Nally, they all want to take a look one more time to see if Jankovic's shot went in before the shot clock expired, if it left his hand before the shot clock was at 0. From a different angle, we see it here now.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty clearly in his hand.
Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't even at the peak of his jump yet when that shot clock went off. From the naked eye, you couldn't tell. Officials reviewing it.
Should be a pretty brief review, but credit Hawaii, Richie, for really staying in this game, because this second half, if you were just watching and you didn't see the score, you'd think Irvine was blowing this game out. They've really dominated the second half.
They've taken control, and they do what a championship program has done. And UC Irvine's program the last 2 years. Last year won the conference tournament championship, second place in the regular season, so they went to the NCAAs last year. The year before, they won the regular season championship and lost in the Big West tournament. I mean, they are a winning culture. And you combine that with Hawaii, they're kind of an up-and-coming program. Last year lost in the conference championship game to UC Irvine. And so this is a battle of pride between both programs in and of itself.
Hawaii with the full court pressure, under 10 minutes to play in regulation. Alex Young swinging around the key, and a foul on the floor going against Hawaii.
It goes against the secondary defender. As you saw the point guard take the ball off the ball screen, Alex Young, he beats his man off the dribble, so the secondary defender who was guarding the corner had to try to help. He reached, and that's a foul.
Bobbitt picks up the personal, his first. Both teams now with 9 total fouls. So the next foul on either team will send their opponent into the double bonus. So we have a lot of free throws, I think, upcoming here in the next 9.5 minutes, Richie.
I believe it. Both these teams shooting 67, 68% from the foul line. So it will come down to free throws, I believe.
Good job by Thomas to get inside. And a foul on Irvine. The 10th team foul will send Thomas to the free throw line. But Jankovic, a really good baseline feed there for the Warriors.
It's tremendous. That's how you break down a zone. Get the ball in the short corner, then you have Mike Thomas diving to the basket. It goes from the short corner to the guy diving from the elbow towards the basket. That's difficult to guard if you're in zone defense.
How about all these LA kids on Hawaii? Mike Thomas, another one, former LA City Player of the Year in high school out of El Camino Real.
I think what you're soon going to see, you're going to see a Hawaii team full of Australians.
That's true. And head coach Aron Ganot, who was famous for recruiting Matthew Dellavedova in his time as an assistant at St. Mary's, will next year have 3 Australians in the roster.
And they're still going. They have 2 in the team now. They've signed 1. Will they get another one? And you know St. Mary's, Randy Bennett does the same thing over there. He has 6 Australians on the roster there now.
They're going to have to start driving the team bus on the other side of the road. And Shai inside for the slam. Jankovic working the other way. Hawaii may be looking for a 3 for 2. Njai, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, wreaking havoc tonight. Drame, free throw line extended jumper for him, and Hawaii is back within 4.
It's good to see the freshman knock down the mid-range shot off the bounce. That's how you become a college basketball player. You have to be able to shoot not just set shots, but also off the dribble.
Here's Njai again, tied up down low. The ball goes out of bounds, will stay with Irvine. And Njai, Richie, in the game that Irvine lost on the road against Hawaii, 10 points, 0 blocks, was relatively, at least for him, ineffective in that game. Mainly because on defense, he was kind of left alone because Hawaii shot so many three-pointers. And in this one here tonight, credit Coach Russell Turner for really making sure that the offense is running through him first and foremost when he's on the floor.
It seems like throughout the course of the season, that's happened more and more and more. Give him a chance to do his work down inside.
Nelson off the inbound. 3-on-2, Jankovic, and he'll go to the line.
Officials call that a blocking foul. Alex Young stepped in like he wanted to take a charge, but they called the block. I don't think he had his set feet in time.
So it'll be Jankovic at the free throw line, trying to bring Hawaii within 1 possession. Mamadou Njai, 7'6", using every inch of it to get above the rim. Here on ESPN, bringing you a great one in Irvine. The Anteaters on top of the Rainbow Warriors by 4. 7:56 to go here in the second half. This week on ESPN's Big Monday, we'll have number 7 Virginia taking on number 11 Miami at 7 Eastern in the ACC. Then we head to the Big 12 at 9 for another beauty when number 13 Iowa State battles number 10 West Virginia at the Coliseum in Morgantown. Both games are also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Mamadou Njai tonight has been the story. Look at his wingspan. 8 feet 3 inches for a 7'6" frame. And Njai tonight has really been dominating in the post.
Sure has. And his height is immense, as we all know. And talk a lot about him. He's a brain tumor survivor. He was in high school and complained of a lot of headaches. And he found out he had a tumor that was actively affecting his growth hormone. Now it's 7'6" and a tremendous college basketball player.
It's a great story. And tonight, Njai, along with teammate Mike Best, a very formidable front court for Irvine, but Stefan Jankovic has single-handedly, with 19 points, kept Hawaii within striking distance here in the second half. They now trail by only 2.
This game's going to come down to those free throws. Taking care of the basketball in free throws.
Five on the shot clock. Nelson fading away. Rebound by Jankovic.
Irvine can get a better shot than that. 7 seconds left on the clock.
Hawaii a chance to tie or take the lead. And they do it. A three-pointer for Hawaii by Isaac Fleming. Richie, the guy you said needed to step up here.
He needs to. He's a big player. He's the missing piece to Hawaii's puzzle right now.
A 1-point Hawaii advantage under 7 minutes to go in regulation. Jaron Martin says not so fast.
Martin coming off a game where he hit 6 3-pointers at Cal State Fullerton.
It's his first field goal of the game for Jaron Martin.
Look at that. I like that. Jankovic catching the ball at the elbow. Good pass.
Jankovic, 3 on the shot clock, fadeaway 3. Rebounded by Demakopoulos. Richie, after Hawaii took that lead just a moment ago, although it's back to Irvine now, they hadn't led since 1918, the score in the first half.
Oh, my goodness.
This has been all Irvine since then, but Hawaii is just stuck around, and all of a sudden, a one-possession game trading leads with Irvine.
It's going to go back and forth, and Luke Nelson just came off a ball screen. He did a tremendous job of splitting the trap. And that's what happens. When you come off a ball screen, you're going to have usually the guy guarding the person setting the ball screen, usually a big man, is going to come up and try to hedge, and sometimes they're going to try to trap you. And Luke Nelson, thinking one step ahead, split that trap and got into the paint. As a result, he gets fouled. Now he's at the foul line.
Jankovic called for the foul. That's his third. So Aaron Valdez for Hawaii on the bench with 4 fouls. And now Jankovic, their leading scorer, with 3 fouls. As Irvine maybe sensing a time to strike, as Mamadou Njai is back into the game with front court mate Mike Best.
Well, you wonder how long it's going to be before Hawaii's Aaron Valdez comes back into the ballgame. There's 4 fouls, went to the bench with 10 points and 6 boards. They need him.
Bobbitt looks at the shot clock. It reads 7. Kick out. Drame for 3. Wedges in the rim.
Well, I know that shot didn't go in, but that was a great extra pass by Isaac Fleming. Bobbitt drove to the basket, hit Fleming. He had a hand in his face and found a wide-open Drame, his teammate, on the wing. And had he knocked down that shot, that would have been textbook basketball, that you go back and watch that film with your team and you say, wow, that's how we need to play each and every possession.
And I'm sure Irvine's not happy about that because they play good defense for 30 seconds and they lose the possession arrow.
That's a good point. Great observation.
Thank you.
High five.
Mike Best at the elbow. Njai keeping it alive. And Njai leapfrogging over the front row. My goodness.
Where's the U.S. Olympic Committee? You might have a high jumper here.
I think you just saw about 5 people in the front row's life flash before their eyes.
Watch this play. The loose ball off Mamadou. He figures he has to save it. Oh, my goodness.
And he stayed on his feet. He stuck the landing.
That's impressive. You know, as a coach, you're gasping like, oh, no, Mamadou, don't get hurt.
Aaron Valdez, Richie, back into the game now for Hawaii. Here he is, far corner.
Well, he didn't waste any time to get a shot off.
And Njai, who gets his 7th rebound, will go to the free throw line after being fouled. Double bonus for both teams with 5:01 to play.
Mamadou at 7'6" is a 64% free throw shooter. Number one, it's not bad for a big man. Number two, of a guy with that kind of size, I think it's really impressive. He gets fouled all the time. To knock down 64% of your free throws, you have a chance when he steps up.
Side Dumala picks up his 4th foul. I just still can't get over the fact that Mamadou Njai just jumped the first row like he was walking up a flight of stairs.
Well, there's the crowd that he jumped over.
They have a story to tell, that's for sure.
That little girl saying, "Did you see that?" She will never forget that. She's going to have nightmares of Njai jumping over her every night.
She won't be counting sheep jumping. She'll be counting Njai jumping. 66-61, Irvine up by 5. Ball loose, turnover. Bobbitt tried to thread the needle, it wasn't there.
So costly. Every little turnover is going to hurt you right now, and every bad shot, I call shooting turnovers too for either team. Anytime you take a bad shot, it's like shooting a turnover.
Nelson to the rim, and he's fouled. That was the foul on Hawaii. Isaac Fleming picking up the personal.
It's a good move. It's a crossover. The primary problem for Hawaii is that Fleming got beat off the dribble. And then you have to have help side rotation, trying to stop a full head of steam going to the basket. That's difficult to do.
Nelson with 15 points now, 7 assists, and perfect from the free throw line, 6 for 6. 92% free throw shooter, Richie. How hard is that?
It's amazing. I mean, that's among the country's best. He gets fouled a lot as well. He's always attacking the rim.
Hawaii briefly took a lead of 1 point. They hadn't led since the first few minutes of the first half. The lead lasted here in the second half for about 5 seconds, and now Irvine is up by 7. Jankovic off the glass, and he's over 20 points.
He had a 6'10" guy and a 7'6" guy around him. Wasn't afraid to go up. He keeps catching that ball right around the block. Just under the block along the baseline, he's able to use his moves, go up strong or go for a reverse.
Jankovic ends an 8-0 Irvine run. Martin near corner. Good hands by Nelson on the steal. And a foul on Hawaii will go against Fleming.
Fleming either needed to stop and shoot right there, come to a jump stop and pass. Either one of those two options, but he dribbled 1-2 dribbles too many.
And now at center court, Jankovic and Mamadou Njai getting into a bit of a war of words. The benches have to come restrain them as we see Mamadou Njai fighting for the rebound and leapfrogging the fans here in Irvine. They go in regulation, and the UC Irvine Anteaters hanging on to a 5-point lead. Mamadou Njai leading the way here in the second half. He's got 15 points, 7 rebounds, and he has been acrobatic to say the least, not only with 6 slam dunks, but we saw just before the break trying to save a ball out of bounds. He leapfrogged over the first row of fans. And as we return to live action, it's Aaron Wright at the free throw line for the Anteaters trying to extend their lead. Eric Rothman, Richie Schuler here with you.
Irvine's done such a good job of clicking on all cylinders, playing as a team. They're 2-1 assist to turnover in this game. 18 assists on 24 buckets.
And that's one thing I think that if you ask the coaching staff of Irvine, they would say was missing in the loss at Hawaii, was they allowed Hawaii to get too many open threes, and they didn't work their offense enough to consistency. Jankovic banks in the three as it kisses off the glass, and he sends a kiss to the rafters saying, I can't believe that one went in.
He has now 18 points in the second half, 24 for the game. He has taken over and willed this Hawaii team to hanging around.
It's really been Irvine versus Jankovic here in the second half. And a traveling violation. Turnover on Irvine.
And if I'm Hawaii looking to potentially take the lead or at least tie here, you might look for a three-point shot. You have Jankovic, who's hit some three-pointers. Now Sai Tamala's back into the game. He's hit some three-pointers. The point guard, Roderick Bobbitt, he is very well capable of knocking them down. So if you're not going to drive the ball, or at least drive, maybe kick and look for some of these open, great shooters.
Jankovic again on the baseline drive. Misses that one. Keep an eye on Hawaii defensively, Richie. They've got Valdez and Tumala out there, both with 4 fouls.
Well, you can't play too conservative because you obviously have to play aggressive basketball, but certainly keep an eye on that and try not to put yourself in a position to foul.
Nelson, three-pointer off the heel, and a foul on the rebound against Hawaii. And it's going to be on Tumala, and he's done.
Well, that's a three-point shooter for Hawaii that's going to have to leave the game.
5th foul on Sai Tumala will send him to the bench. Tumala disqualified. And Mike Best is at the free throw line for Irvine.
Tumala has hit 3 three-pointers in this game. He's 4 of 5 from the field for 11 points. And that's a big blow for Hawaii down the stretch. And I really like how Hawaii's really getting the ball down inside to Jankovic, and there's a lot of inside-outside offense going on against the 2-3 zone. And I think that's the attack they need to continue trying to execute.
Richie, if Hawaii were to come back to win this game, could Jankovic's performance set him up for Conference Player of the Year?
Absolutely. Yeah, he's already a candidate. He's a leading scorer on the best team in the league and leading rebounder.
This might solidify it if the Warriors can come back. They trail by 3. Thomas missing. Best pokes it out, and here comes Alex Young. Up ahead, Nelson for the bucket. Nelson now with 18 points and a timeout taken by Hawaii. 2 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in regulation. Irvine, a 5-point advantage. Hawaii trying to draw up a play to get them within 1 possession. Look for Stefan Jankovic to get it done. But an Irvine running the press. And Nelson, 7 Eastern on the SEC. Then we head to the Big Ten for Denzel Valentine and the number 8 Spartans battling the Buckeyes in Columbus at 9, with both games streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Eric Rothman, Richie Schuler back here with you. It'll be Hawaii basketball coming out of the break.
UC Irvine is 14-0 this season when scoring at least 70 points. And this favors them.
And so does that turnover. A big miss on the possession there by Hawaii as they threw the ball out of bounds. The referees, however, are going to go over and review it, Richie, to see who touched the ball last. You saw the Hawaii coaching staff jump up pretty quickly because they thought they saw an anteater touch the basketball.
Yeah, I'm curious to see that too. And if it goes the other way now, well, here it is. Bobbitt comes off this screen, has to go the other way. Looks like it's off Alex Young's hand. Does Mike Thomas touch it?
Oh, that's tough to tell. I think he might have.
It's hard to see from that angle because Coach Iran Ganat is there.
It's tough to tell, but you don't chase a ball like that if you didn't touch it. You don't try to save a ball from going out of bounds if it didn't hit your hand.
Well, if you don't go try to save it, Coach is going to be on you.
That's true.
I'm not convinced that he did. Oh, now we're here. Maybe there, the second reach there.
I think he might have touched it with that second reach.
Well, if it goes the other way, they're going to have to contend with Irvine's bigs. If I'm UC Irvine, I'm continuing to go inside. 39 points for UC Irvine from their 4 big men. And that tells you where the staple of their team is. Offensively, they want to play inside out. They want to attack from the post and kick it out to their open wings and guards.
still waiting for the signal. They're going to give the ball to Hawaii. So they overturned the call. And so even though it looked like the ball might have touched Mike Thomas's pinky finger as it was rolling out of bounds, it will stay with the Warriors, and they avoid a pretty big turnover.
Big break for them. Now they have to execute against this zone.
Jankovic inside, blocked by Njai, but a foul.
Well, it's a great play by Fleming. Fleming uses left hand. He's a left-hander, gets inside the paint, and dished it right down inside underneath the arms of the big man of UC Irvine. It's a tough pass, an even better catch. They say good players catch bad passes. That was a tough one to catch. And Jankovic, a 6'11 guy, reaches down, gets it, and gets the foul.
Look at that line tonight for Stefan Jankovic. 24 points, but free throws in critical times will always thwart a great night offensively.
Well, he's 8 of 11, but everybody needs to make their free throws down the stretch. I told you, this game's going to come down to free throws and turnovers at the end of the game.
It's the second one. It's a 4-point Irvine lead.
And here comes the press again. Once the ball gets in bounds, they don't put a whole lot of pressure. Well, they put a lot of pressure, not allowing them to get the ball in bounds. Good defense by the Rainbow Warriors.
Irvine forced to take a timeout as Nelson had nowhere to go with the basketball.
Usually, once that ball's inbounded, they usually let you bring it up the floor, but they put a lot of pressure on you. When you have guys that can pick your pocket, like Bobbitt, Smith.
Streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
The Big West Conference hasn't had a team go undefeated in road play since 2001, or rather 2004, 2005. That was Pacific University before they joined the WCC. And right now, Hawaii is 5-0.
They're on the ropes. Big screen by Mike Best. Clears up Young to break the timeline. Ball batted around to Martin for three. Had an open look at it.
Good push.
Thomas gets inside. And Hawaii is within two.
That's what you want to do. Push it before Mamadou gets down the floor.
Final minute of play here in regulation. Student section has not sat down here in the last 10 minutes in Irvine. 8 to shoot for Njai, and he traveled.
Wow. And there was no help side rotation on that. No trap from Hawaii. Didn't look like it was anybody but one-on-one. Njai versus Jankovic. Jankovic dodged a bullet there and the whole Hawaii program.
51.3 seconds as the ball rolls up towards midcourt before Roderick Bobbitt picks it up. Valdez near corner, and the lead for Hawaii.
Tremendous basketball play. Bobbitt to Fleming to the open Valdez in the corner. Again, great team basketball, making that one extra pass for an open shooter.
And how about this, Richie? Hawaii has led for all of 5 seconds in this second half.
That's incredible.
5 seconds, and now they take
15 seconds or the last possession offensively, teams will switch every screen. That causes problems when you're playing a team against like UC Irvine, who has so much size. You don't want to have a guard switching off into a guy like Njai or Mike Best. But how are they going to play their defense here? Are they going to play it honest and play it just the way they have been, or are they going to switch some screens?
Full court press remains in effect for Hawaii. 40 seconds to go here in regulation. What a way to end 14 and a half hours of live basketball coverage here on ESPN today. Save the best for last. How about that? Young for three. Ball loose, out of bounds, stays with Irvine.
Everybody hustling, slapping the basketball, trying to win the 50-50 battle. And I thought Hawaii had that basketball on two different occasions on that possession as the ball was running around.
Referees are going to take a look at it at the replay booth.
That looked like it might have went off Nelson there, and Nelson again for Irvine. If that's the case, that should be Hawaii basketball.
Absolutely. If that's
the line, or are they going to press full court, try to get a steal first in a trap, and then do it?
Wow, the call on the floor is upheld, and so it will be Irvine basketball. And the Anteaters, dodging a bullet there, will keep possession. And a chance to take the lead. No shot clock with only 16.9 seconds to go. They can hold for the last shot if they'd like.
Hawaii needs to refocus defensively here. They want to try to win out this basketball game. Look for Irvine to go inside.
Nelson off the inbound. Three not there. Rebounded by Bobbitt. Bobbitt snaking away, taking time off the clock, and he's fouled with 10.7 seconds to go in regulation.
Roderick Bobbitt is the man that Hawaii wanted on the foul line. He's 85% from the free throw stripe. In Irvine, just having a difficult time making three-point shots. They're now 3 of 17 from behind the arc in the game, and they're going to need to probably knock down another three-point shot. If Bobbitt makes both of these, they're going to be down 3.
Irvine has led for 99% of this game, but the last 40 seconds, Hawaii has taken the lead, and now a chance to hold on defense for a road victory here in Irvine to stay atop the conference standings. Bobbitt hit them both, and a timeout taken by Hawaii to discuss what they want to do defensively.
Well, here's the case now. Hawaii's out of timeouts. Irvine has 2. So
3 run in the final 2 minutes of this ball game. What a victory it would be if they can hang on for the final 10.7 seconds. Irvine with the 3, a chance to send this one into overtime. They'll have to go the length of the floor to do it. It'll be Luke Nelson to inbound. Nelson, Young, Martin, Best, and Demakopoulos, the 5 for Irvine. Here comes Young. Martin, 5 to shoot. Nearly hits it. It rattles out. Rebounded by Thomas. And a foul with 0.7 seconds to go. That ball was halfway in the cup.
My goodness. The three-point shooting woes for UC Irvine. In less than a second left, he hesitated on it because you had the athletic Valdez there. He got a dribble off, and Valdez still almost got a tip of it.
Valdez fired up, defending with 4 fouls because he knew it didn't matter. Had to get out on Martin. And now Mike Thomas at the free throw line. Misses the first one.
The only chance that Irvine has right now is for Thomas to miss this free throw, and you don't even have time for a dribble.
You got it. 4-point lead for Hawaii. Irvine inbounds, and that is the game. How about Hawaii? The Rainbow Warriors led for all of 45 seconds of game time in the second half, and that's all they needed to remain undefeated on the road here in conference play.
Hawaii basketball has proven themselves to be the best team in the conference. They remain in first place with the season sweep on last year's champions, UC Irvine.
And that wraps up a great day of college basketball on ESPNU. So for Richie Schuler, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long from Irvine, where Hawaii escapes with a 75-71 win. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Let's send it to SportsCenter U.